It was the night of August 2nd, and I stood in the doorway of the venue that I had seen Father Steve speak in. I found a seat, but as I walked past one of the tables out of the corner of my eye, I saw this guy sitting there. He looked familiar, but I did not know him. When I got to the table of people that I did not know, I said, "Hey, that guy over there, do you know him? He's the rapper guy? I don't know. I think he's performing at the finale in a couple weeks. I saw a picture." They shrugged and said, "Yeah, I think so." Well, Father Thomas gave his very interesting talk about renewing and restoring our approach to the Eucharist. I was totally listening. And that's not sarcastic. But at the same time, I was trying to figure out what the heck I was going to say to this Catholic rapper if I actually had the guts to go up and talk to him, and the confidence to go up and talk to him. Afterwards, I went over. I don't remember much, and was probably really awkward, but it probably went something like this. I reach out my hand to give him a handshake. "You're that rapper guy. Mandala, is it? Hi, I'm Ida. Your music's cool. I like how you tie in Catholic themes." Dominic stands up to continue the conversation. I ask, "Do you have a favorite song?" I ask this because I needed to know what his good songs are. Not all of his songs can be the best. Can they? He said, "Nah, they're all good. I guess you don't ask an artist which one of their songs is their favorite." Okay, well, hopefully I can come out. I don't know. It's a long drive, and my sister likes Christian rap, so maybe I can get a group to carpool with. Okay, nice meeting you. And I walked away. I thought it was an insignificant conversation. Then I awkwardly waited by the door for about an hour to talk to one of my other friends, Francis. Meanwhile, it looked like Francis was having deep conversations and praying with people. My mom was kind of mad because she wanted to take me home. I walked out with Francis and another guy. If I remember exactly who it was, this other guy would be an important person too. Francis and I, and now this other guy who jumped into that conversation, were talking about what our favorite colors were. It was a continuation of a text conversation that I had had with Francis a while ago. August 3rd. Danielle. This location was about a 45-minute drive, but the venue was really pretty. It was outside, there were patio lights, and the speaker is our young adult leader at my church, and she was speaking about emotional intelligence. I went with a family friend, and we sat at a great table. It was so much fun, but that I would come to know, and one of them would be one of my new friends. There were so many interesting conversations happening, and we ended up sitting there for a long, long time. There was this older guy, he was slightly weird, trying to ask everybody out and hit on them, except for me. What's that trying to say? So I was trying to find how long I waited to talk to Francis, based on some texts, but I found a different text that I had texted on August 2nd, so it was that night. I texted one of my friends who was sitting directly next to me, so it must have been during the Theology on Tap, and it said, and I quote, "Challenge of the day, talk to the blonde guy in black in front of us." To which she responds, "Make it happen." Meanwhile, I think God was singing the new Armani Devon song that came out on May 22nd, where he was saying, "Not today, no, not today, ay, ay, shorty, why you trippin'?" We ended up sitting at our table the whole time, talking to my new friend Mike. I couldn't shut up about St. Mary and all that, so the challenge didn't happen. August 25th, the Theology on Tap finale. It took a lot to get to this finale, and I quote-unquote fought to go. It was a very last-minute decision, a last-minute privilege that I got to go. I mean, come on. Mandela's future future biggest fan. Can't miss his Theology on Tap finale show. Can she? Maybe. But God made it happen. I think that he was up there working, as he always does. I think that it was really by the grace of God that I was able to go. And I think that that Theology on Tap finale is the first and last mandala show that I will ever sit down for. This was the night that I officially met Drew, our young adult leader for the diocese. And one of the things that really just I noticed about Drew, and I noticed about Drew once I followed him on Instagram too, was that he is just so supportive of everybody. He's so supportive of Dominic and everybody. We got to go to adoration. I loved it, and I think just seeing young adults worship is so inspiring, and how they worship, it just draws me to deeper prayer for them, and I want what they do. I mean, it's not perfect, but it was storming really bad outside on that night. Our friend Joe killed the worship music. He did so good, and just the whole night was so great. And I say this story all the time. I say it in a lot of my posts and reviews and stuff, that the coolest thing ever is seeing a rapper on his knees in adoration. The blonde guy in black who sat in front of us at that August 2nd Theology on Tap stepped in to take our photos of me and Mandala and Joe, and I finally got to talk to him as he was packing up all of the equipment. And he was asking me if I liked Mandala's show and what I thought of it, and I tried to help pack up all of the equipment and carry stuff out, but I don't think that he trusted me yet. But they did let me carry out some things to all of the vehicles that they were driving home in, and we did that all in the rain because, like I said, it was storming really bad outside. And I walked out of the venue with Francis, Drew, Dominic, and the guy in black who goes by the name of Jack. It was then that I asked Dominic or Mandala for another music video. Jack and Francis were both wearing the classic Mandala tees. I recently found an Instagram story from before I left that night, and it said, and I quote, "I'm just hoping that something good and beautiful comes out of tonight, and I have fun, and I make a lot of new friends." And a couple weeks ago when I found that story, it was that time of the month, and so I was just on a mission to go find all of the content from the past Theology on Tap, and I couldn't even tell you what songs my parents were listening to in that same room, because I was just so focused and emotional, and just looking back on all the fun times that I had at Theology on Tap, and it's just crazy to see how far that I've come since I made those stories and all of those posts and everything that everybody else had done. So really quick, I'm just going to go through. So that was the end of the summer series. We had one in the fall, and that was Drew, our young adult leader, who I'd met at the finale. I'd become friends with him and everything. So I'm just going to run quickly through that. I am now in the phase where I don't like to ask people, are you going to Theology on Tap, because I want it to be a surprise, which may mess with my anxiety and my excitement and everything, because I always feel so excited and so nervous, and what's gonna happen and everything. I took my sister with me. It's a 40-ish minute drive. It's kind of crazy. We go up north, and I just prayed for the best the whole way there. I mean, I know Drew knows a lot of people that I know and that I'm friends with and everything. So I had a really good feeling that we were going to see a lot of people. I just didn't know how good it was going to be. Drew gave me my Restless Heart hoodie, which you guys have probably seen in the vlogs or on Instagram or something. I love it. It's the most comfy hoodie ever, and I just asked him to make me more hoodies. I was being really helpful at this Theology on Tap, getting more pictures of water, but I kept looking behind me at the door, I was just waiting for to see who would actually show up. The talk started late, but Jack, Francis, Dominic, and Mike is the guy that I talked to at the August 2nd Theology on Tap, they all snuck in right in the nick of time. I shyly waved to all of them as they all stood in line to get pizza, so we pay $5 and we get free pizza, and the first round of drinks is free. Drew's talk was amazing. He's so close to finishing his album or EP, and he also released a book, so it was just kind of a mixture of music and his book. Jack had helped me take more photos of me and my Restless Heart hoodie. Dominic ended up giving me this free mandala t-shirt because his show was the following week. So of course Mandala's now biggest fan, future biggest fan, needed a t-shirt, and he's just like, I'm so appreciative of all of the support that you've given me. I ended up getting some mandala flyers because I went and hung them around. There's also an Instagram story, so I'll link that in the show notes. It was such a great and perfect night that I came home and I laid on the kitchen floor and said, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve this. So that wraps up the end of video 2, or the end of podcast number 2. We're going to quickly, in video 3, go through the winter series, and just a little sneak peek of that. This is where I met Grace. This is where I saw one of my friends buy a free drink, or buy a drink for the deacon and kind of just give it to him. This is where my social anxiety and insecurity really spiked. And and then we have the spring theology on tap, and that's really fun too, but I will share all of that and then we'll wrap it up and everything. But I just want to thank you guys so much. If you guys are watching this or listening to this, I am going to my second theology on tap for the summer series of year 2, so it's exciting, and definitely, as always, be on the lookout for a little review podcast. So follow the Ear Gravy podcast. I think I'm going to sign up for now. I've had a half of a headache, or an off and on headache all day. I'm super tired and I just want to go lay in bed, but it is 10:05 and I want to get a little bit of editing done, so I'm going to sign out for now. I'm going to say ciao, babes, and go eat salt and vinegar chips because that's Mike's New Year's resolution that I made for him. I'll probably bring some tomorrow for my lunch, so ciao, babes. Here's a little mandala tape update. Last Monday, we were with our friends, and she's 13. She ripped the tape off, and then she's like, it's just tape, and I was like, no, put it back on. So she stuck it back on, and then last Tuesday I was with Jack and Grace, and they're like, give me a mandala tape update in person. So it's holding on for dear life, just like my mandala hope. It's gone through a lot, but